Today we're tackling something pretty interesting, the power of storytelling in business.
Mm.
We actually
Mhm.
took a look at building a story brand by Donald Miller for this one. And the really fascinating thing here is
Yeah,
that the idea is that most marketing fails because it misses one crucial thing, and that's the customer's own story.
it's true. Yeah,
So, yeah, by the end of this deep dive, you'll walk away understanding why story is so powerful and how to actually apply that to your own work,
absolutely.
whether you're in business or just, want to captivate your audience better.
Yeah. It's interesting. We often think of storytelling as just entertainment,
Right.
right? But it's so much deeper than that. It's really woven into how we understand the world, how we make sense of things.
Absolutely. So why is it so fundamental to us, though? I mean, we're bombarded with information every single day.
Yeah. Our brains are amazing, but they're also incredibly efficient. They have to sort through so much data just to keep us functioning. Stories offer a framework, a way to organize all that information and make it memorable, even to connect with it emotionally.
So it's like our brains are saying, just give me the story, not a jumble of facts.
Exactly.
Okay, so how does this actually like play out in the business world, though?
Well, imagine a company spends a ton of money on a flashy ad campaign.
Mm-hmm.
They highlight all these amazing features of their new product,
Right.
but it falls flat. Customers are confused, they don't connect, and sales just fizzle. And it's often because businesses make the mistake of positioning themselves as the hero of the story
Yeah.
instead of the guide for the customer.
So instead of saying, hey, look how great we are, it's more about you, the customer.
Yeah.
You're the star of your own story.
Exactly. That's the shift. It's recognizing that the customer is the protagonist
Okay,
and businesses are there to support them and guide them towards their goals.
got it.
Yeah.
So we've got the customer as the main character, the hero, if you will.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Now we look at their challenges.
Okay.
What problems are they grappling with?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the key. It's not just about the surface level stuff.
Right.
Many companies, they only focus on what we call the external problem,
Yep.
the practical thing their product solves.
So like a software that automates a task or a service that fixes a broken appliance.
Exactly. But what about the frustration that comes with that broken appliance?
Yeah.
That feeling of being overwhelmed, maybe even helpless?
Yeah.
Those are the internal problems.
Okay.
And they often go unaddressed.
So it's like understanding the emotional baggage that comes with the practical problem.
Precisely. It's not just about fixing the leaky faucet.
Right.
It's about addressing the homeowner's frustration with feeling like they can't handle basic home maintenance.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's the philosophical problem.
Okay.
This is the bigger why behind it all. It often ties into the customer's values and beliefs.
So for the homeowner with the leaky faucet, maybe it's tied to their desire for a comfortable and safe home environment.
You got it. And by acknowledging all three levels of problems, the external, the internal, and the philosophical businesses can connect with their customers on a much deeper level.
It's like speaking directly to their heart and mind, not just their wallet.
Exactly.
Okay, so how does a business actually position itself to address these deeper levels of problems?
Well, this is where the guide comes in.
Okay,
Remember, customers aren't looking for another hero competing for the spotlight.
right.
They're looking for guidance and support.
Kind of like Luke Skywalker with Yoda or Katniss Everdeen with Haymitch.
Perfect analogy. They needed mentors to help them navigate their challenges and
Yeah.
achieve their goals. Just like those iconic mentors, brands need to embody two things
Okay,
to be seen as a trustworthy guide: empathy and authority.
okay, so empathy is about understanding and relating to the customer's struggles.
Mm-hmm.
But what about authority? How does a brand establish that?
Authority comes from demonstrating competence,
Right.
expertise,
Mm-hmm.
and a proven track record of success. Customers need to believe that the guide has the knowledge and experience to actually help them overcome their challenges.
So it's not about like bragging or being arrogant.
No.
It's about showcasing credibility and trustworthiness. So a business might showcase their years of experience, customer testimonials, or industry awards.
Exactly. It's subtly saying, we've been there, done that, and we can help you get the results you want.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork here.
Yeah.
The customer is the hero. They're facing these various problems, and the business steps in as the guide. But what does that guidance actually look like? How does a business provide a clear path forward for the customer?
That's where we get into creating a clear plan.
Okay.
They need to know what steps to take to solve their problems
Right.
and what to expect along the way. A well-defined plan builds trust and motivates them to take action.
So it's like having a roadmap to success.
Precisely. It's about eliminating confusion and empowering customers to take control. But creating a plan is just the first step.
Right.
We also need to make it clear what action we want them to take next.
So this is where we explicitly tell them what to do.
Yes.
Click this button, call this number, visit our website.
You got it. Customers need clear instructions
Right.
and a compelling reason to act. A strong call to action guides the customer towards engaging with your brand.
It's about making the next step obvious and easy to take.
Exactly.
But what happens after they take that action? How do we make sure they feel confident and excited about their decision?
This is where we get into the final two pieces of this framework, showcasing the stakes
Okay.
and painting a picture of success.
Okay.
It's about showing customers what they stand to gain by choosing your brand and what they risk by not taking action.
So it's a bit of a carrot and stick approach.
Yeah, you could say that.
We highlight the positive transformation they can experience while also addressing potential negative consequences.
Exactly. By highlighting the potential risks of inaction,
Yeah.
businesses can create a sense of urgency. Think about those insurance commercials that show those disastrous consequences of not having coverage.
Yeah,
They grab your attention.
they do. They tap into our fear of what could go wrong.
Right.
But like you said, it's not all doom and gloom.
No, no, no.
We need to paint a picture of what success looks like.
Absolutely. We want to inspire customers by showing them how their lives will be better, happier, healthier, more fulfilled once they've solved their problems.
So we create a vision of the positive transformation they can experience by engaging with our brand. Instead of focusing on the features of a product,
Yes.
we showcase the benefits and how those benefits actually improve their lives.
You nailed it. It's about tapping into their aspirations, their desires, and painting a picture of the positive outcomes they can achieve.
So we've covered the core elements of using storytelling to connect with customers.
Yeah.
But let's zoom out for a second. What about the power of storytelling within a company itself?
That's a great point. We often overlook that.
Yeah.
How can businesses create a culture where storytelling is ingrained in everything they do?
Stay tuned, because in the next part of our deep dive,
Yes.
we'll unpack how a story-driven culture can boost morale-enhanced communication and ultimately lead to a more engaged and successful team.
Absolutely. It's going to be good.
We just explored how a business can become the guide in a customer's story.
Mm.
But now let's shift gears and dive into the power of storytelling within a company itself. It's about creating a culture where every employee feels connected to a larger narrative.
It's fascinating how many businesses miss this opportunity. They might have a killer marketing strategy that uses storytelling effectively to attract customers, but internally it's a completely different story.
So they're missing out on tapping into that same power to engage their own team.
Exactly. Imagine a company where different departments operate in silos, each pursuing its own goals without a shared understanding of the bigger picture. Communication breaks down, confusion reigns, and employees feel disconnected from the company's mission.
It's like a movie with a bunch of random scenes, but no cohesive plot. No wonder employee morale and productivity take a nosedive.
Precisely. This is what we call the narrative void. It's like a black hole that sucks the energy and passion out of a company.
So how do companies avoid falling into this narrative void? How do they create a culture where storytelling isn't just a marketing tactic, but a core part of their DNA?
It all starts with leadership. Leaders need to be the chief storytellers, weaving a compelling narrative that articulates the company's vision, values, and mission in a way that resonates with employees on an emotional level.
So it's not just about slapping a mission statement on the wall and calling it a day. It's about breathing life into those words and making them feel real and tangible for every employee.
Exactly. Leaders need to share stories that inspire, motivate, and connect employees to the company's purpose. For instance, a leader might share a story about a time they faced a seemingly insurmountable challenge and how the company's values helped them overcome it.
That's a great example. It's about showing, not just telling how those values translate into real-world actions and outcomes. But storytelling shouldn't be limited to just leadership, right?
You're absolutely right. Storytelling should be woven into the fabric of the entire organization, from hiring practices and onboarding processes to internal communications and team-building activities. Every touch point should reinforce the company's narrative.
It's about creating a consistent and immersive experience for employees, one that constantly reminds them of the story they're a part of and the impact they're making. Can you share an example of a company that's doing this really well?
Absolutely. Think about companies like Patagonia, known for its strong commitment to environmental sustainability. This value isn't just a slogan, it's deeply ingrained in every aspect of their business. Their employees, from the salespeople in their retail stores to the designers in their headquarters, are passionate about the environment and see their work as contributing to a larger purpose.
It's like everyone is on the same page, working towards a common goal that they truly believe in. No wonder they attract top talent who share those values.
Exactly. A story-driven culture is a magnet for talent. When a company's story is clear, compelling, and authentic, it attracts people who resonate with that story and want to be a part of it.
It's like finding your tribe. You're not just looking for a job, you're seeking a company where you feel a sense of belonging and purpose.
Now let's shift gears and explore how businesses can integrate storytelling into their operations and communications.
Let's get tactical. What are some practical steps companies can take?
One powerful approach is to create a brand script. It's a document that outlines the key elements of your brand's story, including your target audience, their problems, your solution, and the transformation they can experience.
So it's like a blueprint for your brand's narrative, ensuring that everyone is singing from the same song sheet and that the message is consistent across all channels.
That's a great way to put it. A brand script helps to align your team, streamline your messaging, and create a cohesive brand identity.
It's like having a shared language that everyone in the company understands and can use to communicate effectively. But once you have this brand script, how do you actually bring it to life?
There are many ways to infuse your brand script into your company's operations and communications. One strategy is to weave it into your website content. Instead of just listing features and benefits, use storytelling techniques to engage visitors, connect with their emotions, and demonstrate how your brand can help them achieve their aspirations.
So instead of a dry corporate website, it becomes an immersive experience that draws visitors in and makes them feel something.
Exactly. Your website should be a platform to tell your brand story in a way that is clear, concise, and compelling. It should leave visitors with a lasting impression and a desire to learn more.
It's like the digital storefront for your brand story. But what about other marketing materials like brochures, email campaigns, and social media posts?
The same principle applies. Instead of just pushing products or services, share stories that highlight customer experiences, demonstrate the value of your brand, and connect with your audience on a personal level.
So ditch the salesy jargon and embrace the power of narrative to engage and captivate the audience.
Precisely. People are bombarded with marketing messages every day. To cut through the noise, you need to offer something more than just facts and figures. You need to offer a story that resonates, inspires, and makes them feel something.
It's about making your marketing more human, more relatable, and less about selling and more about connecting. What about internal communications? How can storytelling be used to engage employees and keep them informed?
Imagine receiving a company-wide email that doesn't just list policy changes or announce upcoming events, but tells a story about how those changes will benefit employees or highlights the positive impact of a recent company initiative.
It's like transforming those often dreaded company emails into something that people actually want to read and engage with.
Exactly. Instead of just sending out dry memos or policy updates, use storytelling to engage employees, share company news and achievements, and celebrate team successes.
It's about making internal communications more interesting, informative, and inspiring. Instead of just conveying information, it's about creating a shared experience that fosters a sense of community and purpose.
You've hit the nail on the head. When employees feel connected to the company's story, they're more likely to be engaged, productive, and committed to its success.
This reminds me of a company I read about that used storytelling to completely revamp their onboarding process for new hires. Instead of the typical boring orientation, they created an immersive experience that told the story of the company's journey, its values, and its impact on the world.
That's a fantastic example. By framing the onboarding process as a story, they were able to create an emotional connection with new hires from day one, fostering a sense of belonging and excitement about being part of the team.
It's like setting the stage for a great adventure, making everyone feel like they're embarking on an exciting journey together.
And speaking of attracting top talent, let's delve into how storytelling can be a game changer in the war for talent.
This is a topic I'm particularly interested in. With so many companies vying for the best and brightest, how can businesses differentiate themselves and attract those who are not just qualified, but also culturally aligned?
By crafting a compelling employer brand narrative that showcases your company culture, values, and mission.
So it's about going beyond the typical job description that lists responsibilities and qualifications, and instead painting a picture of what it's actually like to work at your company.
You got it. People want to work for companies. They believe in companies with a story they can connect with and feel proud to be a part of.
It's not just about finding a job, it's about finding a place where you feel like you belong, where your work has meaning, and where you can contribute to something bigger than yourself. How can companies effectively convey this through their employer brand narrative?
One powerful strategy is to showcase employee stories. Highlight the experiences of real people who are thriving in your company culture. Share their stories of growth, innovation, and impact.
It's like providing a glimpse behind the curtain, allowing potential candidates to see themselves working alongside passionate, talented individuals who are making a difference.
Exactly. These stories humanize your brand and create a sense of authenticity that resonates with potential candidates. You're not just telling them about your company culture, you're showing them what it's like to live and breathe it every day.
It's like offering a sneak peek into the company's soul. So instead of just listing perks and benefits, you're highlighting the intangible aspects of the work experience, the sense of community, the opportunities for growth, the feeling of making a real impact.
You've nailed it. By showcasing these elements through storytelling, you can attract candidates who are not just looking for a paycheck, but are seeking a fulfilling and meaningful work experience.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from creating a story-driven culture to crafting a compelling employer brand narrative. But let's not forget about the power of storytelling when it comes to customer testimonials. How can companies use these to their advantage?
That's a great point. Customer testimonials are a goldmine of storytelling opportunities. Instead of just asking for generic testimonials, encourage customers to share their personal stories, their journeys of transformation, and the impact your brand has had on their lives.
So it's about capturing those authentic emotional narratives that showcase the real-life benefits of your products or services.
Exactly. Testimonials that tell a story, evoke emotions, and resonate with potential customers are far more effective than simple statements of satisfaction.
They paint a picture of the customer's problem, their experience with your brand, and the positive outcome they achieved, all wrapped up with a compelling narrative. Where should businesses showcase these stories?
Share them everywhere. Integrate these testimonials into your website. Sprinkle them throughout your social media feeds. Weave them into your email marketing campaigns. The more touch points where potential customers encounter these real-life stories, the more impactful they become.
It's like creating a chorus of voices all singing the praises of your brand in their own unique way.
Exactly. And that chorus of voices can be incredibly persuasive, especially when those voices are sharing authentic, relatable stories.
Okay, so we've got testimonials. What about referrals? How can companies leverage storytelling to encourage customers to spread the word about their brand?
Referrals are like word-of-mouth marketing on steroids, and storytelling is the secret sauce that can make them even more powerful. Think about it: when someone tells a friend about a great experience they had with your company, they're essentially telling a story.
They're sharing their personal narrative, their interaction with your brand, and the positive emotions they experienced.
Exactly. And by making it easy for customers to share those stories, you can amplify your marketing efforts and generate valuable word-of-mouth referrals.
So how can companies encourage these referral stories? Is it as simple as just asking?
Asking is a good start, but there are other strategies that can be even more effective. For instance, provide customers with content that is easy to share and tells a compelling story about your brand. Think about creating a short video that highlights your company's mission, or a blog post that showcases a customer success story.
It's like giving your customers the building blocks to create their own referral stories. Make it easy for them to share those stories with their network by providing them with content that is informative, engaging, and relevant.
You got it. And don't underestimate the power of incentives. Consider offering discounts, rewards, or exclusive perks to customers who refer their friends.
It's like a win-win situation where customers are rewarded for their loyalty and your business benefits from the increased exposure and new customers.
Precisely. By integrating these strategies into your referral program, you can create a powerful engine for growth that is fueled by authentic customer stories.
So we've explored a wide range of strategies for incorporating storytelling into a business, from creating a story-driven culture to leveraging customer testimonials and referrals. Is there a common thread that ties all of these strategies together?
Absolutely. At its core, storytelling is about human connection. It's about understanding what motivates people, what inspires them, and what makes them tick.
It's about tapping into those universal human desires and emotions that transcend industries, demographics, and even cultures.
You nailed it. And when businesses embrace this understanding, they can unlock the transformative power of storytelling, not just for their marketing, but for every aspect of their operations.
It's about using storytelling to create a more engaged workforce, a more loyal customer base, and ultimately a more impactful and successful business.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, we've certainly covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from exploring the science behind why stories are so powerful to uncovering practical ways to incorporate them into a business. We take a deep dive into the art and science of storytelling. Ready to wrap things up?
Let's do.
We've talked about storytelling for customers and even talent. But there's another key group we haven't mentioned, investors. How does storytelling play a role when you're trying to secure funding, especially in the world of startups and business growth?
That's a crucial point. When you pitch to investors, you're not just presenting numbers and projections, you're telling a story about the future you're building. They're looking for opportunities that excite them, that have a compelling narrative and a clear vision for success.
So you're weaving those financial details into a larger story that captures their imagination and makes them believe in the potential.
Exactly. Instead of just focusing on ROI and market share, paint a picture of the problem you're solving, the impact you're making, and the future you're creating.
So it's about tapping into their emotions, their desire to be part of something meaningful and transformative.
Precisely. Investors are more likely to invest in a company, they believe in a company with a story that resonates with their values and aspirations.
It's like finding those investors who are not just looking for a financial return, but who want to align their investments with their own personal beliefs.
Right. And storytelling can be a powerful tool for that.
So how can entrepreneurs actually craft a compelling narrative that really captivates investors?
Start by focusing on the problem you're solving. Make it relatable. Make it human. Use storytelling techniques to illustrate the pain points your target audience is experiencing. And then position your company as the guide, as the hero who comes to the rescue with a solution that transforms lives.
So you're not just presenting a product or service, you're presenting a solution to a real-world problem that people actually care about.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to be bold. Paint a picture of a future where your company has made a significant impact.
It's about inspiring investors to see the possibilities to envision a future where your company has changed the game.
You got it. And remember, investors are people too. They're drawn to stories that evoke emotions that make them feel something. So don't be afraid to inject your pitch with passion, energy, and authenticity.
Let your enthusiasm shine through. Let them see how much you believe in your company and the story you're telling.
Exactly. Authenticity is key. They can spot a phony a mile away.
Okay, so we've talked about external storytelling, connecting with customers, talent, and investors. But let's circle back to internal storytelling for a minute. How can companies use stories to really foster a sense of community and connection among their employees?
One powerful approach is encouraging employees to share their own stories. Create a platform where they can share their experiences, their challenges, their triumphs, and their learnings.
So you create a culture of storytelling where everyone feels comfortable sharing their voice.
Exactly. It could be setting up an internal blog or podcast, hosting regular storytelling sessions, or even just encouraging employees to share their stories during team meetings.
And by sharing those stories, employees can learn from each other, build empathy, and forge stronger connections.
It's like creating a tapestry of experiences, a rich narrative that reflects the collective wisdom of the team.
So you're turning individual stories into a shared narrative that strengthens the bonds between team members.
You got it. And these stories can be incredibly powerful, not just for building relationships, but also for driving innovation and problem solving.
Because when people feel comfortable sharing, they're more likely to speak up, offer new ideas, and challenge the status quo.
Exactly. Storytelling can create a culture of psychological safety where people feel empowered to take risks and think outside the box.
And that's when the magic happens. When people feel safe to be themselves and to share their ideas, that's when you see true innovation.
Absolutely.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, from the science behind why stories are so powerful to the practical ways businesses can actually use storytelling to connect with customers, attract talent, secure funding, and build a thriving internal culture.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this deep dive, is there one key takeaway you want listeners to remember?
Storytelling isn't just a marketing tactic. It's a fundamental human need. We're wired to connect with stories, to find meaning and purpose in them. And when businesses embrace that power, they tap into something profound, something that transcends the transactional nature of commerce and creates genuine human connection.
So it's about using storytelling to build bridges, to foster understanding, and to create a more human-centered world, both within our businesses and in the larger world around us.
Beautifully said.
Well, that's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. We hope you enjoyed exploring the fascinating world of storytelling with us. And remember, the stories we tell have the power to shape our perceptions, influence our decisions, and ultimately transform our world.
So don't forget to listen to the stories of others. You never know what insights and inspiration you might find.
That's it for today, folks. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep diving deep.